Hey guys, welcome to WebDev Cloud. In this video, we will move forward with our journey with PHP and we will see constants and variables in PHP, how to define them, how to use them, how to change the value, etc. So let's look how we can do that. First of all, let's define constant first. So constant is something which isn't changed throughout the execution of program. So let's see how to define our first constant. So in order to define constant, there is one function called define that we can use in order to define our constant. And in the first argument, we can use the name of the constant. Let's say my constant 1. And in the second argument, we can provide the value of this constant. Let's say value of the constant 1. So this is how we can define our constant. We can define any number of constant that we want in our program. Normally constants are defined at the beginning of the program. And in order to access this defined constant, we can just write echo followed by the name of the constant without any parentheses or any quotes. So let's check the output. So here is our output. Print value of constant 1 is being printed on the browser. So there are also certain rules in order to define our constants. So the first rule is that we cannot start the name of the constant with the number. Let's say if I write like 1 my constant and then access it using that name, then this won't be a valid constant and it will give me the error in the browser. So it says unexpected identifier my constant 1. So this is the first rule. Another rule is we cannot write any symbol like @ or hash in front of constant. This again won't be a valid constant. We can only use one symbol, and that is underscore. We can just start any constant using underscore or any letter, alphabet letter like from A to Z, no matter small or capital. So it has to be underscore or any alphabets. So it cannot be any symbol rather than underscore. So that is the rule we need to keep in mind while defining the constant. So next thing is going to be the variables. So in order to define variable, we just don't need to use any function, and rather we need to start the variable name using $. If we are in PHP, then $, and the name of the variable, let's say my variable 1, and is equal to value of this variable. Let's say value of the variable. And similar way we can print we can print variable using echo and my variable 1. This will going to print the value of my variable 1 into the browser. So here we can distinguish the value of constant and value of variable. Let me just separate it using break tag. So we can directly put break tag here in the value of variable. So it will start from this br and start with new line. So this is how we can use variables. So usually constants are used to define something which doesn't need to be changed. Say for example, if we want to define the value of pi, then the value of pi is going to be 3.14, and which isn't change throughout the execution of program. No matter what, the pi will remain 3.14. So for this purpose, the constant can be used. And if we try to override the value of constant like this, let's say pi is equal to 4, then again this won't be a valid statement and throw the error. So we can check this. So this won't be allowed unless the value we are going to change is variable. So rather, if we want to change the value of this my variable 1, then we can do so. So here I have defined my variable 1 is equal to value of the variable, and in the next line I can change the value of this variable. So this is change value. So at this point my variable 1 will hold the value defined here. So when I print my variable here, it will print the new value rather than this. So let's check it out. So this is change value. Let me also put br there, or we can just put br here as well, like this. By the way, this dot is concat operation. So br tag string is concatenated with the variable 1. So the whole output is going to be like this. My variable 1's value will be in the new line. Also, there are types of variables. It can be number. It means it can either be integer number or floating point number. It can be string like we just defined here. It can be Boolean, means it can only hold either true or false value. So let's check each type one by one. We can use any type of variable based on our need. So let's look at the type one by one. First, let's look at the string type, since we already defined string here. So in order to check the type, we can use the function name varDump that will reveal the actual type of this variable. So let's say varDump, and inside that varDump function we need to put our variable's name. Let's say my variable 1, and let's check into the browser. Let me also just comment this constant that we have defined before. So let's jump to the browser and check the output. So it says string. So basically our variable is string having this value, and this 21 is representing the length of the string. So means if you calculate the character in this string including the blank space, it is going to be 21. So this is for the string. Now let's check the numeric variable, let's say integer. So we can override this variable using number as well. So my variable 1 is now, let's say 10. Now let's go back to the browser and check the output. So it says integer, and in the bracket it says 10, means value of the integer variable. So this is it. Now we can check for the floating point variable. We are just overriding the same variable with the different type here. So if I am defining 12.45, then it is going to be a floating point variable. So let's check again in the browser. So it is saying float, and in the bracket it is displaying me the value of this floating point variable here. So this is how we can play with the variable. Let's also check about the Boolean variable that can only hold true or false. True and false is defined constant in PHP. We don't need to define that, so we just can assign the value of true or false into the variable, and it will be automatically become the Boolean variable. So again, let's go into the browser and check. So now it is saying bool with the value of that variable is true as of now. We can also switch the value of the variable to false, and it will still stay Boolean. See, still it is Boolean variable. If I am going to assign anything else here apart from true or false, then it will become another type of variable. Let's say false in bracket, then it will become string having value false. So this is how we can play with variable. We can also perform some arithmetic operation over variable. Let's say I am defining two number 1 is equal to 4, and number 2 is equal to 5, then I can perform addition of this two number using plus operator. So I can write it like the sum of two number is, and then I can concat and perform the arithmetic operation like number 1 plus number 2 and semicolon. So it will add this two number and provide me the result of the addition. So here it says the sum of two number is 9, and likewise we can perform subtraction, multiplication, division, etc. We can write it like number 1 minus number 2, so it is going to be 4 minus 5, so it is going to print minus 1 here. So this is how we can create formulas using constant and numbers. If let's say I want to derive some formula of finding the circumference of the circles, let's say here I'm already having pi, so we can use that pi. So I can say the circumference of the circle is circle is 2 pi r. So what I am going to write is 2 into pi, so my constant, and my radius, let's say my radius is 10, so the circumference is going to be 2 into pi into 10, or I can simply define my radius here into some variable. Let's say radius is equal to 10, and I can directly use this variable inside this formula, and then let's check the result. So the circumference of the circle is 62.8. We can define any kind of formulas here to find anything, literally. So this was it for the variables perspective. There are few more types of variable like array and object, and that will be covered in the next session, of course, because that will take some more time and some deeper understanding of the variables. So this is it from the variables and constant inside the PHP. So we'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a nice time.